Bomb Escape is fun. It's fun to watch how all the different randomizer players will adapt to just having a very low capacity and inventory, and seeing how they use it to beat up some enemies that could have incredibly random AI. As we are going to get this race started, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing like a heart container in the very first chest as we make our way over towards the uncle to find out what he is going to have. Slim, as we're making our way towards the uncle, what do you think is going to be that one item that sends him all across Hyrule?
I'm going to go with the bow for this seed.
Slim thinks it's going to be the bow. That's an interesting go mode item. Let's see what the uncle has. Uncle is going to torch things up with the fire rod.
All right, not bad. Fire rod, very, very powerful. As you can see, it's completely decimating all of these guards. Pretty much every enemy in the escape will die to one hit from the fire rod, so it's very, very destructive.
So as we head our way towards Hyrule Castle, let's see what these runners opt to do here. Fire Rod's going to make this an easier escape than you would with a case like bombs.
Unfortunately, though, with Fire Rod, you do have to kind of watch your magic a bit more. So you're going to have to really try to take advantage of using pots and other items if you want to get some bomb farming in, because we do have those 3 chests at the very end of Escape that could be a consideration for item placement.
So they get the key out of the guard as well as the key outside of the chest. Let's head on over towards the ball and chain guard. Now the nice thing about having the fire rod is the fact that that ball and chain guard goes down in one hit, and neither runner going for that small jar of magic. They know what they need to do here, and they don't want to give either runner an inch.
Yeah, really, because you have to consider that. You don't want to spend too much time farming.
And right now, the hammer!
Well, all we said about not farming, that's just thrown out the window. We have a weapon that we can use without fear of ammo or magic.
What a nice weapon right there. That now means that we do not have to worry about our magic consumption at this point. That also makes for a nice, reliable weapon when we head on over towards the mini Moldorms.
I don't know if reliable is the word I would use, but it does give us...
It's an infinite weapon.
Yes. I will agree with that.
All right, let's head on over here and see Andy currently with a small lead. Or rather, Zer0rush is currently over with a small lead over Andy. And their movement here through the escape portion is going to be very, very precise. You're going to see some of these movements here. They're going to try to do a little bit more optimization here by hugging some of these rails, doing some pumping strats, as they would call it here, as they hug the wall, make their way over towards it. And the idea at this point is to try to gain a little bit extra speed as we're moving through here.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, these 2 runners are no slouches. They get through these seeds very, very fast, and they both know that, so they want to make sure they get through here as quickly as possible. Andy is going to be killing some guards here, trying to still look for that bomb drop, and going a little bit out of his way. Not too much, though. He's still trying to be very precise and accurate with his hammer strikes.
Neither runner getting a bomb drop right now, and it looks to me like Zer0rush is going to be saving his fire rod for the room with the ropes coming up, where he's hoping to splatter it into several ropes at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
So here comes Zer0rush, and this is where you're going to see that that decision come out to play. You probably would have seen him do it whether or not we got the hammer, and that's where he ends up in. He's going to use some extra shots here. No bomb drops, none at all. So
Yeah.
neither runner getting bombs, and this could come into play as we move throughout this entire final portion of the sequence, as we end up getting the map. That's the last thing you really wanted to see at this situation.
Yeah, really. That's an item you want to see in that last 3 chest location.
So some precise movement here through the water in order to try to move a little bit faster. You're going to see them do a little bit of a diagonal movement to do so. Now let's come up to this room. Let's see how the key rat treats it. Zer0rush had a perfect setup here where one
He
time
got a
on the
bomb.
bottom left corner and he gets the bomb. So that means Andy has a chance to getting a bomb off the rats as well. And we'll probably see him attempt to get these bombs coming up in this final room.
Yeah, there it is.
And there it is for Andy. Yep. So both runners getting the bomb, and we get 50 rupees, a piece of heart, and haha, there's some bombs.
It's so mean when Randomizer does that, but it's what Randomizer does sometimes.
Randomizer knows no mercy at times. That's why these runners are playing a game 4.
Exactly.
All right, so that's still a sub-6 escape for Zer0rush, and Andy just a little bit behind by about 3 or 4 seconds. But that really doesn't matter at this point, as we get the heart container out of the sanctuary chest. Was that same heart? We don't know, because both of these runners coming out of here with full health.
Yep. We'll have to take a look at other heart containers later to see if we can nail down that location, but we are out of the sanctuary now, and both runners going to be heading over to Kakariko. Got a small map check there. I think I did see a crystal at Hera, if I'm not mistaken.
You did. There was a crystal over at Hera. There was also a crystal at Eastern. And we'll let the 2,000 pairs of eyes in chat tell us what desert was in this seed. Green Pendant turned out to be desert. Trust the 2,000 eyes. They will reward you with some good information here, as we ended up getting some arrows out of the tree pull and getting that information early. Now Zer0rush getting that information as well. Time to head on over to Kakariko Village. We have gotten a couple of good items so far, Slim, but we need more.
Yes, we need a lot more. Just for that Dark World access, that's going to be the first grouping of items we're going to be looking for. You need the Moon Pearl, you need a Power Glove, or you need the Moon Pearl, Power Glove, or you need the Titan's Mitts or Hammer to get in a Dark World. Which we have the Hammer, but we still need that Moon Pearl and Power Glove.
All right, 4 chests coming up here. We find ourselves an arrow upgrade, the red boomerang, the bomb upgrade, and another bomb upgrade. That's 0 for 4 right there as far as anything good is concerned. 50 rupees, which really at this point, they've got enough money to take care of what they need to here in Kakariko Village, but it's always nice to start getting that money in reserve for what you need to do in the Dark World, or you know it, Zora.
That's right. Our fish friend in the east could have an item that we need.
Hey, we got ourselves another 10 arrows for the cause at this point. As we head to the well and beyond the bomb wall, we find an arrow upgrade. Hello? Items. There we go. There's the glove.
There we go.
We are now just 1 item away from Dark World access, Slim.
That's right. Just need that Moon Pearl now.
And let's go ahead and see what the bottle merchant has. Hey! Titan's Bit! We're still 1 item away from Dark World access.
Yep. But that is nice to get, though, because we have a couple of other options we can get into the Dark World from now, too. So, we still just need that Moon Pearl to actually keep our form in the Dark World.
Yeah, there's that stinking thing about not being able to do a whole lot when you're in bunny form. Unless that's the sprite that you're playing to begin the game. Zer0rush is going to go buy some bombs. Andy with 3 bombs. He is heading right straight to the backup tavern. First, let's see what we have inside. Wouldn't this be fun if this turns out to be bombs? It's just 20 rupees.
I would feel a bit nervous about the local tavern having some bombs in the back room, though, just in my personal opinion.
You need to save the patrons from raiding the back storage room.
That's okay. That's a good point.
All right, let's head to the library. Shh. So inside the library we have a bomb upgrade.
Rick, I don't think we're gonna get that.
Yeah, we're not returning back to the library anytime soon. We can go ahead and talk again like normal.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we get ourselves a piece of part the race game. How vanilla. All right, time to head on over towards the swamp dam area. Let's go ahead and see what the two items are going to be there. Then we'll head to the mini Moldorm caves. Remember, we did pick up the hammer. This is where that, as I was saying before, getting the hammer is going to be a good thing because that's going to help a whole lot better against the mini Moldorms, especially for Zer0rush because he's got no magic.
Yeah, that is true. Andy will have the luxury of using the fire
Hey! The other light source.
No dark rooms in the seed, everybody.
Yeah, this is totally unlike the Christos Kion Game 1 that took place earlier today, where they never found the lamp. So we're going to be able to see the rooms that those two had actually not seen earlier. There's some bombs right there, so Zer0rush doesn't need to pick those up. Andy's about to go pick up his lamp.
And like you mentioned earlier, Zer0rush heading over to the mini Moldorm cave. His weapon of choice is probably going to be the hammer, but, you know, as good as the hammer is, you can't run out of magic or ammo with it. It can be very inaccurate, so...
I was going to say, I think he's going to actually do bomb strats, and that's a nice hit right there. Two for the price of one. Mini Moldorm cave done. Great job by Zer0rush. All right, Blue Rupee, Piece of Heart, Bombo's Medallion, Piece of Heart, and 300 rupees. Zora is still on the table.
It is, and Zora is actually within logic right now. All you need is either the flippers or a power glove to get to Zora. You could do the fake flippers trick, and you might still see that just to get kind of a shortcut to Zora. But yeah, Zora could have something. It is in the logic right now.
But Zer0rush has something else in mind at this point. It's time to head on over towards the Ice Rod Cave. Well, if he doesn't get tackled by a crab first.
Yeah, these crabs will do 2 hearts of damage, so they both have to be very careful, as both of them are down to 2 hearts now.
I think Zer0rush is doing the right thing right there. Tackled one of the crabs to make sure he didn't get tackled. And let's see what we have inside the Ice Rod Cave. It turns out to be 10 arrows. What a great prize for coming all the way up here.
It looks like Andy also made it all the way to Ice Cave unscathed, so he is going to be able to get his 10 arrows as well.
And there's Andy picking that up, and there's the map check for Zer0rush. Getting confirmation that it is the green pendant over there at the desert. So it looks to me like Zer0rush is heading to check out the 2 items over at Death Mountain. And Andy looks like he is following suit.
Interesting.
Like, I'm surprised by this because I would have thought that one of these two would have made the play for Sahasrahla. And we're not even getting to see what's at the Lumberjack at this point. As Andy now heads up here, and he is going to give us that information. Is Agahnim going to be required?
Well, we have one of the 3 items we need for it, so it could be, for all we know.
Okay, so the item at Agahnim turns out to be just a heart container. So Zer0rush will end up padding his lead by not checking that at this moment. He'll probably check it a little bit later on. Old man, flippers!
Ooh. That'll put all of the Zora area in the logic now, so...
Yeah, that increases 4 more items that are now in logic, in addition to Zora, who is also in logic. So you may be seeing some swimming soon. Spectacle. Oh, Cane of Samaria turns out to be on top of Spectacle Rock. Inside, 300 rupees, Zer0rush. He's not doing a save and quit, which tells me he's going to pick up those rupees because, remember, Zora's on the table.
That's right, and after getting those flippers, it put that right in his mind, too, so it is kind of good that he's picking these up. He may actually have to check that area next.
All right, so Zer0rush is going to pick that up. Andy probably will do the same thing at this point because you don't want Zora to become a loose square if you do choose to go in that direction.
There are ways where you can make the check a little more efficient, like if you get the mirror and, you know, you want to go visit the catfish at some point, but, you know, that's heavily dependent on what items you get to begin with, so...
And you just saw what Andy just did right there. He almost saved and quit.
Yep. So you turned right around and went back for those rupees anyway, because we need that money for Zora.
Yeah, 416 rupees. He will tell you to get lost. All right, the hobo. What does the hobo have? We are still looking for some key items at this point. The hobo turns out to give Zer0rush. Hey, there's the mirror.
Ooh.
Now we can get to that Cane of Samaria up on Death Mountain.
I think Zer0rush is going to probably check out the rest of the Zora area first, but yeah, that is an option. We can go right back up the Death Mountain where we got those flippers to investigate some more of the mountain.
Yep. Tower of Hera, now beatable. Eastern Death Mountain, now approachable.
And we can even do a few things. No, we can't. No. Well, there is a glitch we could do, Super Bunny, to get 2 treasures, but may still opt to stay away from Dark Death Mountain.
Alright, let's head inside the waterfall cave. Hey, we found our silver arrows to kill the beast. So obviously, as we know at this point, that the flippers required to get to the... There's the bug catching net. The flippers were required to get to the mirror at the hobo. That would have been an interesting sequence break.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they had every opportunity to do fake flippers earlier. So, you know, they could have actually done that whole sequence break and just been already on Death Mountain to get all those other items, but chose to kind of keep going on through the seeds' normal logic progression.
Zora offering Zer0rush a 10% tax rebate. Zer0rush says, "Screw yourself."
Actually, I think he actually said select down A button. I think that's what he actually said.
We have different definitions of the phrase "screw yourself."
Fair enough.
So Andy about to get ripped off, and he'll be picking up those 50 rupees because he's right in the direct path of fire. Zer0rush heading here into the Dark World to grab his Cane of Samaria. No map check. Say hello to the bunny. Zero, you might want that Cane of Samaria. There we go. Andy back up the mountain as well. So we haven't checked the back 3 of Sahasrara yet. Wouldn't that be something if that was the location of the Moon Pearl?
It would be very unfortunate for both of our runners if it was, but it very well could be. It's a Sphere 1 location, which means you can get it right after you're done with Hyrule Castle, and, you know, anything can be in those locations, so it very well could be, as we have...
Map check.
Map check.
We have ourselves the blue pendant at Turtle Rock, the red pendant down at Swamp. And I did see one of the red crystals up at Skull. What was the other one? Oh, Zer0rush never got the big key. Whoops.
Oh no, go back down. The other red crystal, I believe, was Misery Mire, by the way.
So focused on that we forgot that he had to get that big key.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was unfortunate there for Zer0rush. Wouldn't that be something if that turns out to be the difference in this match? As Andy now opts to go ahead and he will grab this big key without going upstairs.
Anything can happen in these races, Rick. We've seen a 1 second difference between these two in a race. So, you know, any little thing counts.
So let's head up to the 4th floor. We have not seen either of the 2 items that are here inside the Tower of Hera. That is 1, a piece of heart. Zer0rush going to opt to do this bomb jump here. Big risk if you don't get it, but he does. And gets the compass for his efforts. So now we are left with a key and the 2nd item of the Tower of Hera, which we'll be getting soon. Andy trying to do the bomb jump as well. And Andy pulls it off as well.
And unlike past tournaments, in a case like this, Moldorm would have to have the small key. But in this version of the logic, Moldorm could have the other item, and the small key could be locked behind itself in the basement. That's just a logic change we've had for keys and big keys of kind of that nature.
Zer0rush gonna have to be careful with that 1 heart, and takes the death.
Ooh.
He takes the death. That's unfortunate. As I was about to say, Moldorm does do 1 heart of damage. Andy finishing off with the Moldorm fight. So he's going to take the lead on that. Gets the key. Has to go downstairs. That's a nice beetle room right there for Zer0rush, but he has to calm himself down. That Moldorm is going to be waiting for him. And he's not going to be forgiving about the fact that, hey, you just died.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so Andy now checking to see what this 2nd item in the Tower of Hera is going to be before he does the right side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, you always want to make sure you cover your bases in Randomizer. You don't want to leave 1 item behind, especially if it was a dungeon item that you could have gotten when you were here the first time, because you could be looking all over Hyrule for that 1 item that may be in the basement here. So just being very careful about it is what he decides to skip and look over.
And I have a funny feeling that we may see Zer0rush opt to skip this 2nd item. Because that death there means that he's going to have to make up that time. You've got to think at this stage in the tournament that your other runner that you're faced off against is going to do the same moves as you.
That is very true. I would not be surprised to see a skip. Will he do it, though? We'll just have to find out.
Is it going to be worth it? Let's find out. Andy gets, hey, it's a piece of heart, so Zero does, and Zero is walking away.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that lead that Andy had, it once again kind of gets shrunk down. Zero has lead again, but only by about like 5 seconds.
So let's go ahead check out the Spiral Cave. This will be a nice, slow process for both of these. No, Andy is going to see what's up on the island first. Sees that there's a 20 rupee. Now he'll go jump down into Spiral Cave. So Zer0rush is going to get lucky the fact that that's just a piece of heart that he's missing out on. And we had to figure he may have think about doing that, just save himself the time that he had to walk back up the tower. Gets 20 rupees out of the Spiral Cave. And he making his way around. Has to watch out for his health. He's down to 3 hearts. And the walk to the Paradox Cave can be very dangerous.
Yeah, I like having the hook shot for Spiral Cave, but you know, unfortunately do not have that in this seed, so you have to be very careful with trying to avoid those mini Moldorms.
Yeah, and now he's got to watch out for these red Tektites. If he gets tackled by a red Tektite, that is 2 hearts of damage. Oh, he's going to go to the Dark World right here. Maybe think about doing Super Bunny. Well, there's the Moon Pearl, and there's Ether.
Ooh, wow.
We've got ourselves a Super Bunny check here for Andy, by the way.
That's right. This is why this cave is called the Super Bunny Cave, is that basically once you get to the very end of this cave, if you fall inside of a pit, it'll actually act like you are in your normal Link form, so you can actually open chests, lift up objects, and stuff of that nature.
Zer0rush just found a book as well, and inside the Super Bunny Cave, the bow and Quake.
Wow.
So all 3 of our medallions have been found.
Yes, they have.
Now, Andy's not done checking just yet. He may check to see what the medallion is required to get in. No, he's just going to mirror it at this point. I thought he was going to check to see what the medallion was to get into Turtle Rock. But he's going to jump down here to do the Paradox Cave. Now, I think the other reason why Andy did it in this order was because he was down to 2 hearts, and he knows a Tektite hit is going to kill him. And it's a long walk back up the mountain.
That is very true.
So we now know where all the medallions is. Andy's going to go ahead and pick his up. He's also going to pick up that book coming up in just a moment as well, which does open up the possibility that we could get into Desert, even though it's for the green pendant.
That's true, and we have the bow now, and Eastern Palace is on the table as well, so we might be going over to that eastern area.
Palace of Darkness too.
That's right. With the mirror, we can do them both at the same time.
So there's the bow pickup there for Zer0rush, the Quake medallion. We do not have to worry about medallions now. And here's something interesting, Slim.
What's up?
You know what dungeon you know what dungeon we can get into at this point?
We can get into Swamp, can't we?
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. Swamp you can. But if one of these runners wanted to be daring, they could poke their head into Pendant Turtle Rock at this point. But Zer0rush wants to take that book with him. Oh, no, they can't. They don't have a sword.
Yeah,
that's
no
right.
sword,
They don't have a sword. And I don't know why Andy's even checking this with all 3 medallions in his pocket. There's the ether. So we needed the ether to get into Turtle Rock. What is on the ether medallion? Just a little piece of love.
And they're both going to save and quit, and I guess we're going to start doing our on-ground Dark World exploration. Or, we could go over to Eastern Palace, too, and take care of that stuff.
We're going to do Hype Cave.
That's fair, too.
We're going to do Hype Cave, and I believe the way these 2 are going to route it is that they're going to go from Hype Cave over towards the Eastern Palace of Darkness area so they can do both of them.
Yeah, I think so, too.
And this is where you get to see that both of these runners are on almost even terms, despite the fact that they've completely gone in different routes at this point in certain spots. They didn't go, completely bonkers out of the way, but little small changes here and there. 300 rupees, a heart container, 20 rupees. There's our first sword. Now we can get into Turtle Rock, okay, people?
Yes, we can.
I was 2 minutes ahead of myself. Got it?
Yes, they definitely can do that now. But do you want to go all the way back up the Death Mountain again after we've already done that trip twice already?
No. Hell no.
Then yeah, we're probably not going to see that for a while then.
All right, let's head on over to the pyramid first. Let's see what's on there. And he's going to go ahead and check that. Then, Palace of Darkness in Eastern is a very, very wealthy area. So Zer0rush is not going to check the pyramid. So he's going to be the first one to check to see what Sahasrah's area has, as well as the Pod Eastern area, as Andy makes his way up to the pyramid. Is there something nice on the pyramid?
I'd say it's nice. Andy thinks so too.
Yeah, he wants a heart container.
And we are still working with Green Mail. Dark World enemies hit pretty hard. It doesn't hurt to be a little safe.
All right, let's head inside Sahasrah's back closet. 3 items inside. What are we going to get in here? A little bit of love, some 20 rupees, and some 20 rupees. Spear 1 was nasty to us.
Yeah, I really have to give it up for both of our runners for just reading this seed very, very well. I mean, you see it. They've been on the same track so far for the entire 30 minutes we've been going at this seed. And they've made all the right calls. They both made that Death Mountain play to get the flippers, went back down. to get the mirror, to go back up, to get Moon Pearl and all the other stuff that the Death Mountain had. So definitely great routing by both runners here.
And so therefore Andy's about ready to go inside the Palace of Darkness or rush the first of these two in here.
And looks like Andy is actually skipping Sahasrara for right now, but he might just take care of that when he's done with Eastern.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at this point. A cape, so that tells us that you had to get here with the bow in order to do anything.
Mm-hmm. We don't even have a bottle for the potion glitch, so yeah, you'd need to get that bow.
Now, we know the cape wasn't necessary to get into Agahnem's tower. Not for a heart container.
Mm-mm.
So we're going to face off against the Mimics, and both of these runners about a room separating them at this point. So you get to see who's got the better combat at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Zer0rush, the first one through. Andy not too far behind. This is a very slow walk without the boots. So we're going to pick up a key here. Nope, they're going to pick up a key, but it's the big key. So this next one's going to have to be a small key. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Had to be a small key. We would have been locked out of anything else otherwise.
So Zer0rush is going to go straight to Helmassar. That's a nifty decision at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely understand the play, though.
Oh, so can I. So we'll get to see exactly what Zer0rush is up to as Andy goes and collects the stuff that's going on in here.
Although, it is kind of interesting because if he does finish up Helmassar, won't he have to walk all the way back through the bow section just to get to the rest of the items?
Yes, you are right. And so therefore we have seen nothing major so far coming up for Andy. And Zer0rush may be also thinking, I've already seen one item in here by way of the magic cape, so I may have to gamble against Andy. I do not want this going to a game 5.
This is true, definitely. For runners at this level, there's always a method to their each individual madness, so you gotta give them definitely some credit there. They made it this far for a reason.
Bomb jump there for Andy. Turns out to be perfect right there. Gets a piece of heart for his effort. Zer0rush finishing off with the Helmassar King without much of a problem. As Andy goes and picks up the chest, there's 20 rupees inside. Zer0rush getting off Helmassar King. Hey, a compass. Just what the doctor didn't order.
And we find the map inside the dark maze here.
So we get a key right there that unlocks that door to the south. If he doesn't find a key down here, Andy will know that that room's going to have a key, the Harmless Hellway. Gets a small shield, our first shield coming up as Zer0rush rather does come back inside. So Andy, knowing that key logic at this point, now knows that he's got to go to Helmassar King.
Yeah. And because of that, he's going to be able to skip one extra chest that Zer0rush may be unable to, because just depending on his routing anyway.
So Andy now going to face off against the Helmassar King. Zer0rush trying to find out the other 4 items inside are. You know, this is just a complete time where both of these runners will do the opposite the other one does. And so, if you like what you're seeing with this tournament, be sure to take a look at the schedule. We've got some great matches coming up on the way. And like, for example, tomorrow we have Game 2 of the Numpty Christos Owen versus Keong 92. Game 1 was amazing.
Yeah, it was. I had that game earlier this afternoon, and it was a really fun one to watch. Really close, and it was fun to see how that game concluded.
And we won't spoil it for you, but what we will do is we will tell you to be sure to watch Game 2 coming up tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. So, Andy, heading here through the beetle room, that was perfect. Why can't I ever have beetle rooms like that?
It's got to be the pug sprite. It's got to be. I guess you got better start playing as the pug now.
Fine. I'll remember that the next time I play this game. So, Zer0rush going through the door here. This will be a key for a key.
Mm-hmm.
And the Homicide King done for Andy. So, Zer0rush, this is going to be the final segment for him of this dungeon. Andy's out of here first. He will head to Eastern Palace next. Don't forget, Andy did skip Sahasrahla, so these two are going to give their time back when all things are said and done here.
Yeah, it's amazing how there's just all these little minute differences, but at the same time, they're all hitting the same. They're hitting the same path. They're going the same basic route, despite all of that.
Ooh, Zer0rush is saving and quitting.
Interesting.
What are you up to, Zer0rush?
Guess he does not want to think about Eastern Palace right now.
Well, we'll find out what he's up to soon, because he's heading over here to the left as Andy finds our first bottle. I know exactly where Zer0rush is going. He's going to go ahead and head up here towards the top left corner, the village of Outcast, also calling his name Thieves Town as well.
Yeah, we have, like, once again, much like on the east side, on the west side here, we have two dungeons very, very close to each other that you can just kind of take down one after the other.
So we're going to head to Skullwoods first, and the way we're going to route this is head to the back section first, and then work our way around, as Andy gets 2 of the 3 items already in Eastern, second item being bombs. As Zer0rush here, you're heading through the door, getting ready to find out what's in the big key chest. Map turned out to be in the next chest here of Eastern, so we have to go the long way to get to the big key. The big key's in its vanilla location today.
Yes, it is. Zer0rush picked up a key, like you said, from the big key chest, and gonna keep on moving. Gonna be doing the back of Skullwoods first. In some cases, you might find both items here of the dungeon, and you don't even have to worry about checking the front. It's a way you can kind of do this dungeon fast if you have all the items you need to get to the end.
So to the final chest here, and maybe it's a case of Zer0rush thinking this is the way Andy would go. He would do the Palace of Darkness, then head to Eastern. I didn't really get all that much inside Palace of Darkness, except for that cape. Maybe that cape leads to something. That may be part of his mentality right here. That he's going to check Bumper Cave once he's done with this.
Yeah, very well could be his mentality. That's the way this seed has kind of been working out so far. You get one item that will lead you to the next location.
Still one item left here in Eastern. Is inside this big chest? No. The Armos Knights will have the final item.
Andy has a bunch of silver arrows to get rid of them.
But I'm worried that he's not going to be able to finish this fight with his 40 arrows that he has.
That is a lot of arrows to carry around. It could be weighing them down a little bit.
Especially when they have silver attached to them.
Yeah, I know,
Have you ever
right?
seen how much silver weighs? Zer0rush having quite the fight here against the Mothula and takes the death.
Ooh.
I'm not certain how that's going to play into plans here for Zer0rush, but he's going to have to be careful going back here. That's 2 deaths that Zer0rush has taken so far.
Yeah, both on M bosses too.
10 arrows, so you get a refund of your arrows from the Armor Knights.
Oh, okay, good. He made it out of there. And Andy gonna be making up the location he did not check earlier. Gonna be checking the back of Rala's house to get those 3 items.
This is a scary fight against Mothula coming up here for Zer0rush. 2 hearts remaining. 1 hit from Mothula takes the death. Oh, that's 3 deaths now for Zer0rush. And he's going back for more at this point. At what point do you cut your losses, Slim?
It's hard. Like, I definitely know this feeling from past experiences. Like, you know you're capable of doing something, but you want to get it done. You want to get the fight done. But, you know, sometimes you got to know when to quit. I would have personally probably stopped after the last one, but, you know, maybe, again, he feels like he can do it. I can understand the feeling.
Well, let's go ahead and see what the sick kid has. Andy, remember picking out a bottle outside of the Easter egg. Is it going to be required? It's 20 rupees. No.
He's going to grab some extra health, though, so now he has a couple more hits to work with here.
Don't forget, Andy also has the advantage, the fact that he's got green goo in the bottle, in addition to what else Zer0rush has. So he has a little bit of an advantage as far as being able to use Fire Rod if he needs to.
Yeah, he can definitely take this fight a bit safer.
Zer0rush switching on over to the Fire Rod at this point, and I can totally understand this at this point. And he's out of magic, gonna have to switch over to, well, he just chooses to switch over to Hammer, and that's part of the problem. That Hammer's got a very tight box.
It deals damage for certain, but yeah, you have to get really close to get those hits on.
And he gets it done.
Okay, so 3rd time was a charm.
And it was all for a map.
He really did have some really cool dodges, though. Like there were times where I was convinced he was getting hit by those spikes, but managed to step out of the way just in time.
So we have found 1 item inside of the Skull Woods, which means the first half of the dungeon has the 2nd item. What it's going to be, we'll find out soon enough as Andy makes his way over to the final section of Skull Woods, heads towards Mothula.
One thing that is kind of interesting is we have the book and mirror right now. We could have actually had a pedestal check just a bit ago.
I think these runners at this point have almost discounted the fact that there's a very small chance that this pedestal could actually be required.
Yeah, that is true, because, you know, the Ice Rod and Hook Shot are both needed for Pendant dungeons, so that is a good point.
And 20 rupees is the 2nd item in here. Andy down to 3 hearts, so he's going to have to be careful himself. Let's see how this fight goes. Gets him hit. They're 1 and 2, and now we'll wait him out. Waits out the fires here. Still dodging him, which is very good of Andy. Gets him over here to the right. Needs him to leave that corner. The spikes are not playing nice for them at this point. Nice dodge right there to avoid the beams right there. Oh, that was tight. And it turned out that Magic Cape was not required, as Zer0rush ended up checking that while we're doing this. Getting up to the top left corner. Andy's still dodging. Still alive. Mothula's still alive. Another hit over here. Moves over to the middle. Gets him down.
Wow.
What a fight.
Yeah, really, really nice fight there. And he used, he used Fire Rod a couple times, but just stuck with that fighter sword.
All right, Zer0rush going to do the chess game. Found out that there was the 10 bomb drop inside the sea house. And 20 rupees inside the chess game. Time to go play. Maximum health increased. Yeah. Pedal still not required.
Like you said, there weren't a whole bunch of items that could have been there at this point. I think Flute's like the only big one.
Well, Flute could have been there, and the boots could have been there. That would be it as far as anything that would have been maybe required in this seed.
Mm-hmm.
As you pointed out, the ice rod, these runners do not want to see that ice rod. And the hook shot, well, the less that we say about the hook shot at this point, the better.
Mm-hmm.
We do know that one of those two is going to be required to get into Bisrimar, the boots or the hook shot.
Yeah.
There's a sword upgrade.
Ooh, that's nice to have. That is technically a item we do need for Go mode, because you need at least Master Sword to take down Ganon.
And I bet Zer0rush at this point was wondering, why couldn't I have this before going up against Mothula?
It's one of those things, and I always kind of ask this too whenever I'm in a position like this. Do I take care of Thieves Town first, or do I take care of Skullwoods first? They're both right there, pretty much equidistant from the portal up there.
Yeah, but I can understand why they have to do Skullwoods first.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point, Andy is getting to this chest the final time. Gets the 20 rupees inside, and now finally will have to work his way around to get himself out of this dungeon. So that's a little bit more time he's going to have to lose. So you want to go up to Skullwoods. That way you can go down to Thieves Town, because what's probably going to happen next is they will circle their way to the digging game and then to the breadsmith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely makes sense to, like, in my case, I would want to use the logic like, well, I only have Fighter Sword right now. I definitely would rather have Master Sword from Mothula, but it's valuing out your options and your own personal playstyle. That's what it basically boils down to.
Well, I'd rather have that banana hat that Zer0rush has as well, but unfortunately not going to happen.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So Andy's about to go check the bumper cave, and it turned out to be a shield upgrade. That was the item that was up there that Zer0rush said, nope, I don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
So Zer0rush heading on over. We have not seen the key yet, and if it's not here in the maiden cell, we will know that the key is inside the big chest, but it's not. And the map inside the big chest. Blind has the final item. Hey, we found ourselves a bee in a bottle.
Oh, goody.
You sound so excited for that item.
I suppose it can be helpful. For sure.
So Zer0rush about ready to go face off against Blind, as Andy will be joining him in Thieves Town really soon. As Zer0rush hears a cheesy joke from Blind.
That's all Blind ever tells, though, it seems like.
And so far, the first 2 cycles going pretty well here for Zero, and beautiful fight. There we go.
Really
As
nice.
Zer0rush tackles off against Blind and gets a bomb upgrade. So the sword was nice. The mail upgrade, that was nice. We're still looking for that hook shot, and we're still looking for that flute.
Yes, we are.
So Zer0rush about ready to go check this bombable hut. He will be soon united with his B-Torp. You know, the scary thing is, Slim, that hookshot could be in Ganon's tower.
Yes, it can, based on the item placements. It could be.
It all depends on how Ice Palace treats us, but it could very well turn out to be inside Ganon's tower. Again, it all depends on where those boots are, because you need one or the other in order to get into Misery Mire, as Zer0rush is about to go to a very, very slow peg cave. Alright, Zer0rush going inside. What's inside Peg Cave? Peg Cave! Oh, that bombed.
It bombed terribly.
Alright, so what do these sword masters have today?
Powder. No.
Money.
I wanted powder, because then they could just check the magic bat right there. But no.
And this is also an interesting decision by Zer0rush, who is just taking this purple chest, and he's going to take it down. Is he going to go into the portal, though? Because he can check bombos at this point. And no, he is not.
Interesting. I would have thought he would have, just because, like, yeah, he does have the book, he does have the Master Sword, so he could get the item there. And he did check the Ether Medallion earlier when he couldn't get what was on it.
And he gets an arrow upgrade for his efforts. He does a save and quit. Where are we going to next, Zer0rush? We're heading up to the mountain.
Turtle Rock?
Oh, I'm trying to think of where we're going at this point. It could be Turtle Rock. It also could be Spike Cave. And judging on the way he's moving at this point, well, he's got to go this way anyway.
Yeah.
So leave that comment alone.
It definitely does seem like Zero is gambling a lot in this particular seed, which is, you know, understandable. You want to get at, when you know you have an opponent, a tough opponent like Andy, who is more than capable of finishing in such a close time as you want to take any advantage you can to get ahead.
And because he pulled out the mirror, we knew that he was going to be doing this now. He is going to Turtle Rock as Andy gets the cheesy joke from Blind. And so Zer0rush now making his way over towards the eastern side. Andy finishes off against Blind. Zer0rush gets dead rocked. And he has to go into the cave and reset these two. So for those of you here just joining us, we are in Game 4 of this round of 16 match between Andy and Zer0rush. And we say Game 4 because Game 3 finished in a tournament-ruled tie. As Zer0rush ended up doing the dot done versus Andy a second sooner. And therefore, by the rule of the 3-second rule, that got ruled to be a tie. We got a check here from Andy that we never saw from Zer0rush. Time to go dig. Eight and 9 and Piece of Heart from the digging game as Zer0rush now heading inside. Turtle Rock Slim. 5 items inside. That's a small key. That's not one of the items we needed to see just yet, but we need to see keys at some point if we want to get deeper into this dungeon.
Not just 5 items. There's also Mimic Cave, which could have another item there. So that's, 6 items. If you leave, you could also hit Spike Cave on the way down. So, he's going for item density right now, it seems.
And Zer0rush just remembering before he lit the torches on the left side that he does not have the hook shot, so therefore that would be a bad idea to start lighting them on that path around.
I give kudos. He remembered before I would have remembered.
So Eddie's going to be doing the breadsmiths here. He will probably be doing the purple chest, but he will probably also check the south of Haunted Grove as well. And we get ourselves the big key. We get ourselves the compass.
Those 5 items are going to be pretty buried, it seems.
There's Andy picking up his rupees. Zer0rush heading through Pendant Turtle Rock. And there's Andy. Andy has not done a save and quit, so he's going to go ahead and check the Haunted Grove as well as Stumpy. That's something we didn't see from Zer0rush earlier. And he may also have to check the Bombos tablet.
Yeah, these are 3 locations that Zer0rush did not check, probably wanting to prioritize dungeons since he was not really getting much from the overworld. So, if these locations have something, that could be really awkward to kind of route in for Zer0rush.
Mushroom! Interesting game.
We could do fake powder, too, with that mushroom before we turn the mushroom in.
That is correct. But Andy's got other things that he wants to do at this point before he even does that. And we're going to go see what Stumpy has. Stumpy! 20 rupees. The island here in Turtle Rock. Big key. Location. As a small key. And Andy with his mirror out tells me we are going to mirror here. Will he check Bombos once after he trades this in? Yes, he will.
Andy has been very thorough with his checks as he's gone through this entire seed. He checked Hera basements. He's checking all of these other overworld locations. He does not want to miss an important item, and I can give a lot of kudos for that.
Absolutely. And Bombo's tablet has 20 rupees. It's now time to check the desert leads. This is something that's been accessible to these runners for the last 25 minutes. And a heart container turns out to be the outside. We will find out also if we need to have the boots at some point before we get to the hook shot.
This is true.
And so we're going to check Mimic Cave. And then we'll also check a few other spots, including but not limited to the Laser Bridge. Actually, don't forget, Desert is a pendant shovel in Mimic Cave.
Ooh.
That's interesting for your checks right there. And, well, if there's something on the torch, we can't get it just yet.
Yeah, I think we're going to be boots lock, guys.
There's the map inside the big chest in Turtle Rock. Andy looks like he's going to steal a key. That's exactly where he's going. He's going to steal a key. He's got no reason to finish this dungeon.
That's true.
He doesn't have the big key just yet. But he wants to steal this key to find out what is inside that right-hand side.
This is a really, and this is a good time.
Magic powder! Wow. Do you want a fetch quest, Slim?
Well, whether I want it or not is irrelevant, because that's what the game is wanting us to do, with mushroom, shovel, and powder being found in the seed so close together.
All right, so Andy stole the key. He's going to see what's on the torch, and it is the small key on the torch. So one of the two items he's going to see on the right-hand side is the big key. Mm-hmm. The other thing could be item number 1 of this desert palace, or if he's unlucky, this could be the map.
Meanwhile, Zer0rush getting ready to check Laser Bridge. We have 4 items potentially here. Actually, no, just 3, because we do need a small key to get to the final boss.
There's that small key, and he gets the big key right now. He's going to check the big chest right now as well. Uses his last bit of magic to get rid of the beetle out there. Say goodbye. 20 rupees. Last chest, Slim. Is Turtle Rock worth anything? A piece of heart. Ooh, that show doesn't lead to anything. He's going to be feeling extremely behind at this point, and getting a piece of heart, and that will do it for his time inside Desert. He got both of the items. He is going to head on over to Agahnim.
Well, we got to keep in mind, I mean, we did find shovel, we did find magic powder from Turtle Rock.
Oh, so, that's right.
That could still lead to something. Zero's not out of the woods yet.
It's not going to be an advantage over Andy because he has the mushroom for fake powder if he needs it. And let's go ahead and see what Agahnim has. This is another Spear 1 location that people like to play last, and it's got red mail. And so it's time to go see what the sick kid has for Zer0rush. We already know what it is based on what we saw from Andy. Andy is, at this point, is he making the Ice Palace play? It looks like...
I think so.
That's exactly where he may be going. And judging by the fact that Zer0rush has the hammer out, he's going to go and see what that magic powder does. But he doesn't have any magic.
He does have that green potion.
Oh, well, I guess you can go ahead and use that.
Oh, right.
With the magic powder, with the game Mario with no magic. Heart container, so no.
Yeah, he used fake powder with powder. That's right, you can do that.
Yep. That's the first time I've actually seen that myself, so I didn't actually realize that was a thing. As Andy heads here through Ice Palace, goes up against the Pentagators, and unfortunately with the Master Sword, you can't kill them in one shot. You don't have the hook shot to kill them in one shot, and you don't really want to use up all of your magic at this point. Hook shot in ice! All that remains for go mode now is the flute. Well, for the 95.6% go mode, that is.
Boots could still be a thing, required for that big key on the torch in Ganon's tower, if it's there.
So Zer0rush now is going to go do the digging game. He's also going to go do the South of Haunted Grove stuff. He's now going to see what the shovel yields. If the shovel yields to be the boots or the flute, then that's good news here for Zer0rush, because otherwise he needs to get to Ice Palace, and he needs to get to Ice Palace in a hurry. And Andy messing up on the Ice Palace bomb jump, which is very unusual for the pug. And this could also be coming out of nerves, considering the fact that he has just went through Desert. Now, Desert's not a long play, but you've got to think after you just came up empty that you're behind a little.
For sure, you could kind of even compare that to Zer0rush earlier with the Tower of Hera basement skip. After dying on Moldorm, you got to be thinking that, well, I just lost a lot of time by redoing this dungeon, so I got to make some kind of move to get back in this. And then, you know, after the Mothula stuff as well, may have felt the same thing, so he decided to make kind of a rogue play in Turtle Rock, so we'll have to see if that pays out for him.
20 rupees, that is the second item inside of this Ice Palace, as Andy lines himself up for the second bomb jump here. Gets it pretty well. Nice job for the pug. But without a key, he has only one direction to go at this point. He's got to go through the hookshot room.
And well, we got a hookshot for that room, so it's perfect.
And now Zer0rush picking up that shovel. Remember, he found that inside the Mimic Cave. That is the last thing that was the difference between Andy, and it's just a heart container. So now you and I both know it here, Slim. Zero has to get to ice. Zero needs to get to ice.
Yeah, not only is Andy ahead in terms of what he's seen in Ice Palace so far, but got to keep in mind that Andy has also cleared out Eastern Palace and finished that already. That is something Zero will have to do as well, so he needs to get on this right path as soon as possible.
And Andy now finding the third item, so he's going to head right straight to Cold Stare. He's got no other reason to check any more chests. He's got no reason to check chest here in Ice now. And very likely we're going to see Zer0rush make the same play that we saw from Andy about 10 minutes ago now. He's going to head to Desert. Will he steal a key? I don't know. He's not even going to do that. Ooh, what's the play here, Zer0rush? Are we heading to Swamp? Or are we heading to Ice? We are heading to neither. Maybe, I don't know.
It could still be
Trying
Ice.
to figure out what Zer0rush is doing. He could still make the play for Ice at this point. As Andy facing off against Cold Stare. And there's Andy switching over to Fire Rod for this Cold Stare puffiness here. Oh, Zer0rush is heading for the pyramid. Will he pull this together with a catfish check?
That's right. He skipped out on Pyramid earlier. That's how he kind of got a bit of a lead against Andy earlier, so he's going back to check this now.
But here's the thing. Zer0rush is now behind Andy by 2 crystals, and Andy now has a very important item. That hookshot opens up a lot more.
It does. It opens up the rest of Swamp. It opens up Hookshot Cave. He has some things he can attempt to try right now.
Oh, Zer0rush is also checking in the mushroom.
Right, yeah.
Where would we be without the 3,000 people here watching this and reminding us about the things that Zer0rush is up to? And Andy's going to turn in the mushroom as well as he takes the portal up this way. All right, mushroom check for both of these runners. Now, Zer0rush is going to go to catfish after this. And the powder, or the mushroom, yields the boost!
Ooh.
Gotta go fast.
And going fast is exactly what we're going to do.
All right, Zer0rush heading fast to catfish Andy. Heading to check King's Tomb, the 2 boot block spots here near the sanctuary. All right, so inside King's Tomb, there's 5 arrow upgrades. Zer0rush. What does catfish have in store? This is a loose square for Andy at this point. Oh, the ice rod, but we don't need that.
We don't need that. I mean, what did Did we find the map in Turtle Rock?
I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% certain. But
Hmm.
wouldn't that be a mean thing for the seed to
Yep.
do if it blocks the flute at Trinex? Hey, Andy, you just froze at this point. I did not see what that item was. Andy, I didn't see what that item was. Could you menu for us there? No, it wasn't the flute. Okay, we can continue on with our lives. But if it was the flute, he wasn't heading up to Death Mountain. He was going to activate the flute anyways.
Mm-hmm. It looks like he is going to be heading over to Hookshot Cave right now.
Yeah, that's the place where I figured he was heading at this point. And he may think about going into Turtle Rock at this point, but we don't know. Zer0rush is going to let us know what was inside this, and it turned out to be a piece of heart.
So, Zer0rush does have a chance, and he does end up having to go into Turtle Rock. Zer0rush will be able to get some time back that he used, but he's going to have to be quick and, again, go to those locations immediately.
Yeah, he has to go and do Ice Palace ASAP. He's going to go check to see if the Lumberjack had the item, finds out that it's the heart container, that no, that's not where it is. Andy going... And he's activating Turtle Rock. He's not going inside right now. He's going to be doing this and then heading inside the Hookshot Cave.
Here's the big question, though. Is it going to be Hookshot Cave for him, or is it going to be Hover Cave for him?
Oh, I think at this point you're going to hookshot it. You really don't have time to play this game of Hover. And he's going to check the pedestal now. Zer0rush is. So far, not what we see. There's the flute for Andy, 1 hour, 11:22. Andy, the first of these two runners into
Go mode.
And that now puts it even more important that Zer0rush has to get into Ice Palace, but he is going the complete wrong way to do that. He may be checking Spike Cave at this point. It has to be where he's checking. And he's about to go activate his flute, then he'll head into Misery Mire. So at this point, Andy has a very comfortable lead. And it will be Andy moving on to the round of 8 if this holds. Oh, baby. Zer0rush is heading back to East Death Mountain.
It just makes me wonder if, like, with the boss deaths he's had earlier, maybe he's just, like, kind of convinced himself that he's really, really behind and thinks he has to make a move like this to even have, like, a shot at winning at this point.
And that very well could be the case.
Now we are going to be seeing, well, he will be at least checking the first chest via bonking.
Pair of 20s inside here, and Zer0rush. Oh, he's thinking of it. Oh my goodness, Slim. He's going for it. Oh, baby, he's going for it. Zer0rush, you just hovered to chest number 2. He's one hover away from being in go mode, but he missed it.
He needs the hook shot, though. Oh, wait. He knows how to do hover. He wouldn't need the hook shot in that case.
Oh, my goodness. Can Zer0rush pull this off? Andy bonks into the rock. There's the piece of heart right there, and he could just bonk his way over here. He's fine. There's the flute for Zer0rush. He's in go mode. He's going to pick up the hook shot on the way.
That's true, yeah.
But he's still a ways behind because he's got to do Ice Palace. He's got to do Eastern Palace. Andy is going to do Misery Mire, and then we'll be talking about a big key chest game.
Yeah, that was a beautiful routing play by Zero right there. It's just really unfortunate that at this point in this seed, Andy is 2 crystals ahead at this point, so he has quite the deficit to make up here. And the big key very early in Misery Mire.
Winner of this match, this best of 3 series that is tied 1-1, moves on to face off against Gloin in the round of 8. And Gloin has been undefeated in all of his series, both Swiss and here in brackets, as Zer0rush heads into Eastern Palace. Unfortunately for Zer0rush, that big key, you gotta go all the way deep to its vanilla location to get it. Gloin correcting me by saying he lost twice in Swiss. I'm eradicating those results from your record.
I didn't know you could do that.
I'm an admin. I have the power.
Anyway, very, very quick victorious fight we will have right here.
Yeah, of course, when you have the silver arrows, it is going to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a key for his efforts. All right, Slim. That is 7 crystals for the pug.
Yes, it is. Which means...
It's time to play a game. Slim, you like games.
Yeah, games are fun. I guess I'll go ahead and take this. So, right now, you'll see a bunch of numbers appearing in chat as we speak. Basically, what you're going to be doing is guessing what numbered location you think the Ganon's Tower Big Key is going to end up. There are 22 locations, so in chat, put a number 1 through 22, and see if you pick the right location.
And if you turn out to be a supporter of speed gaming, either be a sub to one of the channels or be a donator of 250 or more bits to any of the channels, you make yourself eligible for a fun game that we're doing here with the leaderboard. It's all for fun. We're all doing this to say thank you to the people who help support speed gaming. As Zer0rush picks up his big key, Andy heading up the nice little walk up this tower. And you've got to think Andy may be thinking, I must be behind just a little bit, maybe. I mean, where the boots ended up being, where the hookshot being, I went through desert. I stole a key and I got nothing out of it.
You just don't know in Randomizer. You don't know where your opponent's going to be. I mean, again, we keep referencing it, but last game, Andy finished 1 second after Zer0rush in Game 3. And here we are in Game 4, since that match was declared a tie. You have no idea where your opponent's going to be.
And that is a case here where Andy just narrowly escaping defeat at that point. You know, once again, Zer0rush had the 1 second victory, but by the rule of the tournament, it was declared a tie. So now Andy, now on his way to perhaps moving on to the top 8, the round of 8 in this tournament. By the way, I'm going to guess chest number 11 for today. What do you say, Slim?
I am going to pick number 8 for some reason.
Number 8. Let's see what we have. Okay. And chest number 1 and 2. Slim, take it away.
Okay, in the right chest we have 3 bombs, and in the left chest we have a small key, and it looks like Andy is going to be heading off to the right side to check the 4 in the compass room.
Yeah, this is a move that you could make when you find a key in one of the right-hand side. Zer0rush, he's getting ready to head on over to Ice Palace, and he will get his hookshot inside there, because I don't see any reason why he wouldn't check that chest, especially considering the fact that we are still at Master Sword at this point.
Yeah, this is true.
Okay, for Andy, chest numbers 3 through 6. Slim.
Okay, we got a piece of hearts. a red rupee, another red rupee, and 50 rupees. So still no big key in those first 6 locations.
And so therefore, Andy will go ahead and pick up a key and now move over to the left-hand side. Number 7, the torch.
Okay, just a piece of heart. So next up we have the Stalfos room, 4 chests in there.
Interesting development. Zer0rush did not check that chest. He does not have the hook shot. But there's the big key, chest number 9.
9. Check
so if you guess chest number 9, what do you win, Slim?
Let's see. Well, since we never found it in this particular seed, the winner will be winning a Cane of Burna.
It's all yours for being correct with the price or the key is right. So Andy with the Master Sword, and you know, Master Sword, Ganon's not going to phase him. He's done this enough times in his life.
Heck, he's done Master Sword Silverless before, I'm sure, a number of times in his life too. So, you know, with silvers, it's, you know, you're definitely feeling better than what you could be feeling otherwise.
And so Zer0rush now making his way through Ice Palace. He's going to play this as if he's in go mode, and he's not even checking a single chest. So, you know, he's going to have to dash his way over past Moldorm 2, but otherwise we'll see if he gets to that point, if he plans on finishing out this seed as Andy goes through the gauntlet.
Yeah, again, as we've mentioned several times, you just got to imagine after a seed like this and taking the number of deaths that he has, that Zer0rush has on bosses, you know, must feel like he's very behind, trying to just kind of rush through the rest of the seed, seeing if he can secure any chance left, and, you know, it could be a little factor of tilt he might be on as well, because, you know, he knew he could take down those bosses without deaths, but it happened, unfortunately, and just trying to do what he can to, you know, still stay in this race, so to speak.
Yeah, and the big thing here for Zer0rush was the fact that he died to Moldorm in the Tower of Hera once. He made that up by skipping the basement. He did not make up time for the 2 deaths he sustained to Mothula, and that's where Andy started taking control of this race.
Yeah, definitely.
So Andy done with the gauntlet up to the 5th floor, tackles the first room of the Wiz Robes, and now on to the 2nd. No issue at this point. Zer0rush getting ready to do his final crystal dungeon. That would be Misery Mire.
And where that big key was, it's going to be a very quick clear, so we'll not be spending a whole lot of time there. I think he'll at least get into Ganon's Tower maybe before Andy finishes, or has a potential to finish anyway.
So Zer0rush heading in here. And Andy up here on the 6th floor. He probably will have to check these final 2 chests. Gets himself a red rupee and a compass for his effort, but no tempered sword. Makes you wonder where the other swords turned out to be.
I know, they could have been in a number of places. We didn't even take a look inside Swamp Palace. I imagine there could be a sword in there. There's a lot of rooms in GT we haven't looked at either, so could also be a sword somewhere in the bottom part, or even on this next chest too.
You can tell that Andy's playing this safe. Like, he doesn't want to do the hover. He knows how to do it, but it's more of along the lines of he doesn't want to make a mistake, because in his mind, Zer0rush is right next to him.
Yeah, exactly. Zer0rush could be the devil on his shoulder trying to encourage him to hover, just so he could get time with that. But no, he's not going to do that. He's going to go straight for the end, playing it safe, like you said.
Alright, time to face off against Agahnim 2 in our geometry boss, as we line him up for what should be a pretty good first round there. That was a double hit. Nice double right there as well. So 2 more hits will be off against the final boss there. There it is. So 2, 2, 2.
What a perfectly symmetrical number of hits for each phase.
2 cubed there for Andy as we face off against the Ganon fight. Master Sword, but with silvers. So you want to tell the audience here, Slim, about the spinning we're going to see?
That's right. We're going to be seeing a lot of sword spins here. This is because Ganon can actually not be harmed by just normal Master Sword strikes. You can do it with Tempered Sword and Gold Sword, no problem, but for Master Sword, you have to do sword spins. So we need to do about 12 of these to move on to the next phase. So we have to get these hits in, dodge the pitchfork, and just keep things going.
By the way, Andy did lay down a Canis and Mario block at the very beginning of this fight to try to maybe get another hit on him, and spinning him around, getting into the top here. Are we into phase number 2 just yet? It does appear to be yes.
Meanwhile, Zer0rush takes down Vitreous, gets his 7th crystal. He's going to be heading up to Ganon's tower now.
Yep. It's unfortunately a case where for Zero, it was just a late entry into Ice Palace, but he never pulled out why we wanted him to get in there. And perfect setup here for Andy. He's going to get a bunch of double spins on Ganon.
Yeah, this should take him right into phase 3. And for phase 3, all you need is just 4 spins whenever Ganon stops. So not much is left of this fight.
And that's very good timing. Got him before the bat spawned. There's the 3rd hit. We've got 1 more hit left to this Ganon fight before he goes to phase 4, and we'll be able to tackle him with some silver arrows. Do you find those arrows in Light World? Oh, definitely. Here we go. 1, 2. Light the torch. Nice torch right there. Almost got a 3rd on him. He's only going to get 1 hit on him now. Get him to the bottom left corner. 1 more spin, 1 more silver arrow, and Andy will be the winner of this best of 3 match against Zer0rush. He will advance to the best round of 8 to face off against Gloin. Get your GG's in there for ALG Andy, the winner of this match. 127-17.
Definitely very well played on Andy's behalf.
And so Zer0rush continuing on his battle. See whether or not he finishes things out right now. Makes his way over to Ganon's tower. We'll go ahead and speak to the Pug. Find out his comments about this seed in just a moment. The Pug is upon us. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
So, interesting seed it turned out to be for you. What did you think about that hookshot location?
Well, we were looking for 3 things from like minute 26 of this seed. So I was really hoping to not find that hookshot. Since Zero and I can both hover, it would have been pretty fun to have the hookshot like stowed away in like left side Pendant Swamp or something like that. But
interesting you say that. So, did you hear in the post-race conversation with him what he did?
He died a couple times, and that changed his routing up to gamble and hopefully make back some time.
He wound up hovering Hookshot Cave, and he did not pick up the hookshot at all. So he sequence broke himself to the flute, but what really gave you the decision was the fact that you chose to check Ice Palace sooner, which had the hook shot, which led you to the flute for go mode.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer. Losing to bad play at the beginning. That's kind of what happened to me in game 2. Sloppy play at the beginning tends to change your normal decision making in the mid game, and that can really bite you in the butt.
The other thing big for Zer0rush is he opted to check Pendant Turtle Rock, where 2 fetch quest items were inside.
Powder, and I don't know what the other one could have been. I guess shovel is the only other one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shovel was inside the Mimic Cave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was about to. If flute wasn't in Hookshot Cave, I was dipping Turtle Rock and then Swamp. I guess I probably would have done my desert trip for Green Pendant last.
And
But,
Zer0rush pulling off the hover there to get himself over into the Staffos room so he could finally pick up that big key here in Ganon's tower. So what was your game plan after the tie in game number 3? What was your game plan overall, and did you feel like you adhered to that game plan the way you wanted to?
I mean, I don't know. I don't usually alter my game plan for opponents usually, especially someone that's, very close to my skill level, like Zer0rush is. We both play fairly soundly, and so I don't feel a need to change my game plan. But playing somebody who's a lot more gambly, like a Hippos or a PKR, I might have to change up my game plan a little to counteract the gambliness. But who knows? It's tough to play against people that gamble a lot.
And speaking of that, your next match will be against Gloin in the round of 8. Your thoughts heading into that best-of-3 series?
Gloin is a good player. I don't know too much about him. I'm just happy to finally break the tied for 9th curse that has plagued me for the last 2 main tournaments.
That's a good point, definitely. Yep. You're now in the round of 8.
Yeah, overall the seed was pretty nice. I was hoping to not find Moon Pearl relatively early. With early mids, early Moon Pearl can lead to a lot of decisions to make. So I'm glad it was East Side Death Mountain.
Yeah, it was very interesting how that beginning part was set up with the flippers on the old man to go back down for the mirror to go back up to get the Moon Pearl. That was a really interesting little chain there to kind of get the Moon Pearl and some of the other items that were up there.
Yeah, I'm glad it it ended up working out that way, just because I thought about fake flippering just to get Hobo because I didn't have enough money for Zora at the time.
Right.
And I was like, well, if I had fake flippered, it would have saved me a trip, like a short trip up Death Mountain again, but it probably wouldn't have been that different, I guess, just because you have to walk pretty far to fake flipper anyways.
Right, and it's interesting what you said earlier, for the longest time, literally up until you both finished Darkness Palace, you two were literally tripping over each other. It seemed like you were at the same locations at all the same times. Like we mentioned, Zer0rush did take that unfortunate death against Moldorm, but then he skipped Tower of Hera basement, got that time back, and then was ahead again. And then he also skipped out on Pyramid, so he got a little bit further ahead. But still, and there were differences, but they were so minute. You were still essentially taking care of all the same things. So even that Death Mountain play, you both made it at the same exact time, and we were just thinking, wow, what if there was something you could have gotten from fake flippering? And yeah, that's where the mirror ended up.
Yeah, I ended up doing Death Mountain first, just because the only stuff that we had left at that point was Zora, Death Mountain, Sahashala, and Eastern, and Agahnim. So I wanted to do that to give me like a little more information, I guess, to see whether I was going to have to dip Eastern early or not.
Right.
And while we're speaking of that, Zer0rush does a first try hover at Moldorm 2. As he gets ready to go face off against Agahnim 2.
Yeah, other than that, it was pretty straightforward. Like, from the 30-minute mark, we had the ability to clear 6 of the 7 crystal dungeons, so there wasn't any reason to go check other stuff that was out of the way, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it became a battle of where in the world was the stuff to clear the 7th one.
Yeah. The, I guess, Pod, Eastern, Skullwoods, and Thievestown only had a sword, so it didn't really help that much. So it was interesting to not get anything from all of those checks. So that's a lot of locations. And so I did Desert after that South Loop just because there was no way I was going back there ever.
Turns out that sword in Thievestown was necessary, as we had not seen any of the other swords in this seed. And so Zer0rush finishing off against Agahnim 2, about ready to face off against Ganon.
Yeah, as we saw a little bit earlier, using that Cane of Samaria block to try to get a few extra spins in.
I was super bummed that none of them worked. I placed the blocks a little bit too far away every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really interesting thing. It was like, it's not too recent, but it's not too old either.
Yeah.
You have to hold the diagonal as you're going through the block for the block to stop you, or else it'll just phase right through it. So it's a little weird to actually execute, but
I will give you Randomizer and Link to the Past speedrunners credit. You learned some very interesting and very creative tech, that's for sure.
Yeah, Rando's actually done a lot for the speedrunning community. Rando's brought in a ton of people, some of which have been like super interested in glitch hunting. They've given us a ton of more insight on how glitches work, especially potion stuff. Potions has a ton more knowledge now on why things actually work. But yeah, Rando lets us do weird things like Cane of Samaria on Ganon.
Yeah, definitely.
That and the water dashing too that we've now used in a lot of randomizer runs. It's amazing what tricks can be discovered thanks to randomizer.
Anyway, there's that 4th hit on Phase 3. Gonna move on to Phase 4 now for the final silver arrow hits.
Gets 2 hits on him and spins around, but takes a hit from Ganon. He's got to do this all over again. And with that, we see Zer0rush throwing in the towel. But get your GGs in for Zer0rush for pulling off the tricks that he did.
Mm-hmm.
Hovering his way over to get to the flute, with the sequence break there. Hovering over to get to the big key, as well as hovering past Moldorm 2. And I believe we have Zer0rush here with us.
Yo, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
So, your overall thoughts about the seed?
Honestly, it was a pretty good seed. Obviously, if I had continued past Thieves Town, the boots would have been waiting for me shortly thereafter. But not my best day for Zelda. So I did after what happened in Hera and Skullwoods. I figured, well, I need to do something drastic because if I do the obvious play, Andy's 5 minutes ahead of me, at least. But turns out that the boots are right there, which would have taken Andy to Death Mountain anyway. So even if there was anything in Turtle Rock, I don't think it would have really accounted for the time loss.
Little did you know that you both got the boots within about 30 seconds of each other.
Nice. That's pretty good. I assume he had Ice Palace done, though, at that point.
I believe, yes, that was the case, if I remember correctly. But he ended up going through Desert, and he stole a key to check the 2 chests on the right-hand side of Desert, which kind of gave back some of the time that you lost in Turtle Rock. But in the end, unfortunately, the deaths did add up for you. Now, my one question I had to ask was that the reason why you mentioned that you couldn't make the obvious plays because Andy was making the same plays? Was that why you skipped out on doing Eastern after the Palace of Darkness?
No, I just brain farted and forgot. That's it, really.
Okay.
I was after Pod. I was thinking about what gambles I was going to make at that point, if any. But I decided, because I know we needed just boots or hookshot and flute for at 30 minutes. So I didn't know if I wanted to go right to Skullwoods or maybe gamble a really, really early Ice Palace. But given how I was playing, I decided not to do Ice Palace. And then I completely forgot about Eastern Palace. Especially with, I was already a little mad because I went to Helmar Sword right away, forgetting that I did not have 2 keys, so I had to go back the long way.
Oh, right, yeah, because
Okay.
you went straight to him after getting the big key and 1 small key out of that right-hand side. And little did you know at that point that if he had gone to Ice Palace, hey, there's the hook shot.
Wow.
And interesting that you passed up on that hook shot, too.
That's funny. Good old hookshotless hookshot seed.
Yeah, you know where that hook shot was?
Was it the Freezer room?
No, it was in the Penegator room, the first room, the first chest.
Wow. I was thinking about grabbing the chest on the way when I went through Ice Palace to see if I could get tempered, but oh well. I didn't need hookshot anyway. It wouldn't really save any time at that point.
You hovered pretty nicely, and nice bounce back after falling down the first time in the hookshot cave to get it on the second try, which got you the flute for go mode.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a hover hookshot cave unless you fall at least once.
It's my specialty.
Yeah. Then you got to line up the left side bunk and hope you don't smack into the wall or the chest. But no, it was a fun seed. It was a fun series.
Yeah, you gave us a lot of great thrills in this best of 3 series against Andy, taking it to a game 4. A lot of fun. Glad you guys were able to pull this together for the last go around here. Zer0rush, you are leaving the tournament now with this loss, but hold your head up. You're in the top 16 of a tournament that had 512 people in it. Your thoughts going out of this tournament?
It's been a lot of fun. I started with the first spring tournament, and I've just been doing better and better since then. And the NMG tournament that went on recently got me really in depth into the actual speedrun, the regular speedrun of the game, which helped a lot with Randomizer in ways you wouldn't really understand at first. But movement is such a big deal in this game, so if anyone really wants to improve their Randomizer performance outside of just knowing the logic and knowing the locations, I recommend trying out the vanilla speedruns. They're a lot of fun most of the time.
And with that, a great GG to both of you guys. Andy, good luck in the next round against Glowin. And Zer0rush, good luck to you in the next tournaments.
Thank you. Yeah, good games, Andy, and good luck in your first round of 8 rando tournament.
Yeah, hopefully I won't put your loss in vain and I'll win the whole thing.
Yeah, I told ACM I'd beat you for him, but I failed, so you have to win the tournament now.
Hey. What's this stuff about the first round of 8 for Andy? Remember, he made it to the round of 2 in Key Sanity.
That's not a real game mode.
Well, still. But anyways, yeah, congratulations to Andy, and for Zer0rush, thank you very much for joining us. Let's get a GG for both of these runners once again. Slim, anything you want to add?
Not really. You said it all, and yeah, definitely. Again, great. Good luck to you, Andy, on the continued progress. And Zer0rush, I mean, we're going 7-0 during the Swiss. It's really impressive, and having a really good run in the brackets too. So definitely, good job on your performance all the way here.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's gonna do it for us today, Slim. We have another match coming up tomorrow, don't we?
Yes, we do. If all of you guys in the audience want to see Game 2 of Keong 92 versus Christos Owen, that'll be happening tomorrow at 4 p.m. And if that series goes to a Game 3, you can watch that on Sunday at 4 p.m. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you check back on the Speed Gaming channels for that match. And yeah, make sure you check out any of the Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming 2 through 6, as well as the ALTTP Randomizer channels as well. ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizers 2 through 4. A lot of content for this randomizer and for Speed Gaming. Lots of other tournaments to take a look at. So if you like what you saw today and you want to see some other games, definitely continue to stick with us.
Well, speaking of that, a lot of great tournaments coming up here on Speed Gaming. We got another great match coming up in just a couple of minutes, so we've got to get on out of here. But Slim, we've got Bent Teasy against LV99, level 99 Weeb in Celeste coming up here on Speed Gaming. Cookie Apocalypse and FC Racer will be on the call for that match, so stay tuned if you're a fan of Celeste. That tournament heating up. Bentizi, level 99 Weeb, next year on Speed Gaming. So for Danny, our tracker, for the crew at Speed Gaming who got this on the air, I'm Adirondack Rick, Slim Kirby. Thank you for joining me on this one. It was a lot of fun.
And thank you for joining me, Rick. Had a lot of fun as well. Great race, great runners, great everything. Everyone's awesome. So thank you, everybody, for watching, and we will see you guys later.
Indeed. More Link to the Past randomizer going on. We've got the daily race on one of the other channels going on. I believe Speed Gaming 4 for that right now. And don't forget Christos Owen, Keong 92 coming up tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern on one of these Speed Gaming channels. Celeste, beginning in just minutes here. Thanks for joining us.
Later, folks.